Warning: the video you are about to see contains profanity. Parental discretion is advised.
In this case, with it being a Vita, PlayStation console, and play it as almost as if you were playing, a current generation game, and it's just fantastic. Keep in mind, I really wish Xbox would try to do something like this. I really think that they'd have a good market for it. I'm surprised that they haven't tried. Xbox guys, Microsoft guys, hello. Kind of hint, wink, wink here.
What's going on YouTube? AV here once again with the AV&T series. Tuesday Green with back with another episode for you all here. So today our topic is
the evolution of video gaming, whether it be consoles or actual games. We'll pretty much cover the wide variety of topics from the days back to, I remember as far back as the Atari, and then from the days of the Atari to the current days we're going through right now with the evolution with the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One current gen consoles. Now currently I don't own a current gen console. I own an Xbox 360 and a beautiful, fantastic PlayStation Vita. But and to note, even portable gaming systems, like this. This is an example, of gaming's evolution, where you can play something like Final Fantasy X to Remaster, or Injustice, or, Mortal Kombat that was released for an Xbox 360, or for this case, with it being a Vita, PlayStation console, and play it as almost as if you were playing, a current generation game, and it's just fantastic. Keep in mind, I really wish Xbox would try to do something like this. I really think that they'd have a good market for it. I'm surprised that they haven't tried.
They should.
Xbox guys, Microsoft guys, hello. Kind of hint, wink, wink here. But the Game Boys and the Sega Game Gears and the Neo Geo and the PlayStation Portable, the PlayStation Vita, you're getting the evolution of gaming pretty much on any version of a console, and rightfully so. So we're going to talk about our exposure to certain things, and we're not going to discuss them in any particular ranking order. We're just going to go based on memories on the fly. Mr. Varn.
So basically, I can always back in the day, I always remembered when I started out gaming, it was always on the Atari, the Sega, I believe the Sega Genesis. What else? PlayStation 1 to the PS2.
Yeah, the original PlayStations.
I can just remember playing those systems back in the day, and I guess you could say back in the day, as of now, you would call them ghetto systems, maybe?
Yeah, ghetto systems.
I don't know, but the ghetto way of gaming. But I could just remember always playing something on any one of those systems, and it is really amazing how gaming has come so far to this day and age, to the obviously the infamous Xbox One and PS4 systems,
yes,
which are really good systems. Both systems, mind you, are good. I'm not going to hate on any one of them because I have an Xbox One. A few other people...
Love you too.
A few other people I know have a PS4. Now, I consider getting a PS4 myself, but I'm not going to hate on any particular system. Both systems offer pretty much different views, but equal gaming opportunity for pretty much everybody. And of course, they have their exclusives, so like Halo, for example, with
brand
the Xbox.
Exclusives, yeah.
And then you've got, well, of course, other exclusives for PS4, etc.
I completely agreed. I mean, when you started out with games like Pong and Moon Patrol and Pitfall for the Atari, and then you have games like, Grand Theft Auto 5 and Destiny and Titanfall for the new generations now. I mean, to see things go from a one-dimensional or two-dimensional side-scrolling or pixelated form to something where you could almost as if play a legit movie as you're playing, as you're playing a video game, but you're like feeling like you're in a movie or control of like a video movie game of sorts. It's just absolutely fantastic. With this, I me personally, I would like to, encourage people to just appreciate more the older nostalgic games and continue to play them, because they, they are around for a reason, and they are absolutely, so much fun to play, from like, Atari with the Moon Patrol and Star Wars and stuff like that, to Super Mario for the regular Nintendo, Mario 3, to Super Mario World, and Legend of the Seven Stars for Super Nintendo, and like for me, I always harken back to the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 consoles. My top favorites for that have to be Final Fantasy VII, and for the PlayStation 1, Legend of Dragoon for the PlayStation 1, and of course Final Fantasy X for the PlayStation 2 console. And now I've also played the regular Xbox and the Xbox 360 up to date. And I love any video game system as long as those video game systems have really good games. But I feel, this is just my opinion, let you state yours, of course, is that we've become jaded. We've become so used to we've become so used to
newer tech.
Newer tech and open world expansions and all these things that weren't available to us before, that we're jaded when we play either an older gen system or a game that reminds us too much of an older gen system, because it means us older gamers who have our roots in it, we don't appreciate what used to be, because we're so used to what is. And if you're a gamer, you appreciate all games and try to look at them all with an objective point of view. And so that's my hope. What about you, Mr. Byrne?
Well, it's like you were saying, though, we've become so jaded with newer expansions, newer
Go
games.
watch your movie.
Newer games and all that stuff like that. Well, the expansions and stuff that weren't really generally in, obviously in the, but I myself even still like to go back to the older stuff, just because it kind of reminds you of a time where you're not so older, and you didn't have to think or worry about too much lately, or at that time. And it was kind of a happy time,
It was.
where you could play a game. It was simple. That's pretty much what it was. The older systems, they were simple. They were honest gaming, etc. For me, honestly, the older, for example, Duke Nukem. Remember Duke Nukem?
Yes, I do remember Duke Nukem.
That did come out for the 360, so I'm glad it did, because I do enjoy older games like that, even though it took its place on a sort of a newer gen system, which is good. That's all well and good, because they didn't really do too much with the game. They didn't alter anything. It just pretty much was just as if you were playing it back in the day, except for maybe the whole thing where you can kind of, if you die, you can just kind of rewind, and that I don't I wasn't hating that. It's just, it's kind of like, like I said.
Well, the thing that folks have to remember, when we play all these newer games, now, is those older systems, the Atari, the Nintendo, and so on and so forth, they at one point were their next gen system. Mm-hmm. They were the next generation, an evolution of things. We go from so many different, pixel, and everything, like pixelated format with like the with the regular Nintendo system, and you gotta love recording. We get everything at this point. Are you
want to do a part 2?
Yeah, we're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back with part 2.
We'll be right back, guys. And we're back, guys. Hydration is very important. Sponsored by Apple Juice.
Yes, you must have beverage. Beverage is key. Just wanted to let you know that if you do see some mild random moments where I have to look over and take care of some business, I have my godkids with me for the time being, so things might get a little entertaining in regards to recording. But we're talking about the evolution of gaming systems and how, as much as we love the new gen, and we will continue to love the newer generation for all it's accomplished and continuing to accomplish, that we should still, as gamers, continue to appreciate what got us to that stage. How each system evolved graphics-wise, story-wise, the whole 9 yards. Because for the, there may have been sound effects in a lot of games, but when you start getting voice acting as an option in a video game, and really, start doing more than just simple, pixelated stuff, but more realistic, that's when the idea of, next gen evolutions really took off, in my opinion. Now, there is, the Atari, the Nintendo Entertainment System, the NES, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, the Sega Game Gear, the Game Boy, the Nintendo DS's, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Nintendo 3DS, that's the newest one, right? Out right now. The Wii, the N64, the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, and now currently the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. Out of these generation consoles, on this one we're going to stick strictly to what we're trying to enforce. Out of these older generation consoles first, which is your favorite?
Older gen consoles. I gotta say, well,
cheers.
Cheers indeed. Shit.
If you want, I'll give you some time to think, and I'll let them know mine.
I think I got one.
Oh, excellent.
PlayStation 1.
Ah, very nice, my friend.
That's technically where a majority of my gaming took off, on a multitude of different levels and different gaming. Because I know it was always the Atari, the Sega Genesis. I didn't play so much of, but I used to play a lot of anyway. So that's why I think it kind of really took off my interest. And like I said, when I first started out gaming, I was kind of, as you would call it, a PlayStation kind of guy. And then I just kind of slowly worked over to Xbox. Most people, most people have, everyone has this this hate against Xbox and, PlayStation, yada, yada, yada. They're both good systems, guys. I'm not going to pick any sides on them. I just, I've just invested I guess you could say, a lot of time and money on Xbox, to the point where why drop it just to go to a PS4? I'm just saying.
Well, my older generation console, my favorite. Oddly enough, keep in mind, Sony, Microsoft, I do adore you guys. You have some great stuff, newer gen. But Nintendo was the one that started it, and for me, the Super Nintendo was my favorite, and still is for the greatest part of the older generation systems.
Yeah.
You know, Super Mario World and Legend of the Seven Stars, and the Spider-Man games like Separation Anxiety and Maximum Carnage, the Mortal Kombat series, the Street Fighter games, like Mario Kart. There's so many games that just absolutely rocked it. And if it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for like the Super Nintendo, we wouldn't have the Mario Kart 64 and the advent of the more three-dimensional attempt at like gaming, like with Star Fox and whatnot. So this, if it wasn't for the fact of the Super Nintendo being successful as it was, they wouldn't have a mitt in the the competition market for next gen consoling.
Well, this is definitely true. Because I think even to this day, most people are still playing Nintendo 64s and Super Nintendo. Basically, I've always seen a lot of people playing more of that, of the older console age, than really anything. I don't believe anybody's still playing Atari or Sega Genesis. I'm just saying.
If you look back, especially with the advent of the Wii and its ability to play N64 games, and things of that nature, as long as you have an older Nintendo 64 controller to attach to the machine, you ask any gamer, especially group gaming, what they're playing, 9 times out of 10 you'll actually hear Mario Kart 64.
This is true.
And that's why they actually adapted the Mario Kart series for the Wii to evolve it. But as much as I give it props for the attempt, Mario Kart 64 will remain to me the best of that particular era of game. Now, speaking of which, we didn't even touch on that, the brand wars.
Yeah.
I mean, the competitions between, the Sony and the Nintendo and the Microsoft. Guys, as a gamer, I look past that, because as long as it's a decent game, I'll play it regardless of the console. If there's an exclusive, yes, I'll pick that console up and I'll try to play each, like Kingdom Hearts for the longest time was a PlayStation exclusive. So I stuck to the PlayStation for a while because Kingdom Hearts, as I said in earlier show, is a phenomenal set of games. Now it looks like Kingdom Hearts 3, the continuation, is going to be multi-platform, which I'm not arguing with. It's just I think they're now trying to. I think they're trying now not to really go so much for the platform war, because each game system really has its plus and minuses, especially for game distributions and how many different companies have just gone under. I mean, look at THQ. I mean, now, what was it, the WWE set of games is now owned by EA Sports. And like I know South Park Stick of Truth had to get pushed back for distribution because South Park was originally released by THQ, and then now obviously that particular game is out and available, and as far as I'm aware, doing really well in sales. I know I have a copy for my PC. So I mean, I would love to include PC game PC gamers in this, but PC gaming, there's no like real evolution. Because a PC is a PC is a PC. It's just a matter of the brand and the processing.
Yeah.
I
mean, you'll always hear people say this. For anybody who's a PC gamer, there'll always be a PC gamer because of the fact that, technically speaking, and they'll say that these consoles don't exactly have everything a PC has graphics to offer, but that's only because of the fact that that's a PC, like you were saying, and if a console's a console, a PC's a PC, it's two completely different things. It's just the games you can do more on a PC. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's how it's always been, really.
PCs always have more capabilities up to a point than a console game. So, with that, I mean, no discounting the PC gamers because PC gamers have their own niche, and look at some of these games that got released originally for PC that have now been adapted for consoles. I am more looking at the evolution of console gaming. And I love how the autoplay turns out to be the commentary for The Wizard of Oz. But anyway, side note, but we're looking more at the evolution of the consoles because those are not PC, although some of these consoles now are having more PC capability type of, abilities. But, I play World of Warcraft, I play Elder Scrolls Online, obviously check out our,
Star Trek Online.
Yep, Star Trek Online, Minecraft, most definitely, I'll play for any,
I mean, I'm still myself a PC gamer every now and then. But personally, I think on preference level, I find myself to be more preferred to console gaming because I'm just a lot more used to having the controller in my hand and actually just sitting back and playing the game. And as you know, with the PC, you just kind of have to, position your hands and everything just right. And all of a sudden you hit a button you didn't want to hit and you kind of end up, doing something you don't. Yeah, it kind of. That's my preference on that one, really. Console gaming, in my opinion, with how far it's come along, I'm glad that it's come this far because of the fact that, well, duh, it's good.
Agreed. I mean, you look at the way the video games are these days, and now you see the improvements, and props to the Xbox Ones, and the PlayStation 4s because you've definitely again improvement on graphics, improvement on load times, improvement on pretty much it's all around bit, more special features, so and for crying out loud, the PS3 and I believe now PS4, the Vita system can basically act like in a sense its own controller, or they evolved to crossplay, which is if you have a game for the PC, not the PC, but the PlayStation 3, and you have the version of it on the Vita, you can actually play that as if you're playing on the system itself, and phenomenal. When it comes to my favorite portable generation systems, I will say my favorite to this point, yes, will be the PlayStation Vita, and I'll give you a quick shot, but currently Mr. TJ Green is playing Dissidia Duodecim, a PSP originally released game that is downloadable on the Vita system. And I have been playing the Final Fantasy remasters, which the Final Fantasy X Revisited video will be coming soon. So just a little side plug there. Ha ha, shameless plug. But I again, that's just an example of how gaming evolution is still continuing to happen and affect video gamers as a whole today. What do you think, Mr. Varney?
Well, basically what you just said right there. Because I mean, it's
what he said.
What can I say? I mean, it's gotten, as you know, the Xbox One, PS4 obviously, voice command. You can use voice commands, and it's actually very simple now. I've actually been using that a lot more than I thought I would. So hey, I mean, it's good. A lot of people are a little more don't like that whole thing with the Kinect sensor and everything like that. Voice command and all that. Yeah, okay, I can understand your concerns there, but personally, it's just kind of useful to have around. So, I mean, like I said, it's just going to keep getting better.
Yeah. Some things are nitpickers and other things aren't. Like, I mean, I find myself nitpicking regardless of, whether or not the systems improve. I think that's just always going to happen. You'll find something that just doesn't, add up, and that's fine. But...
And, of course, graphics will continue to go up dramatically through these systems. And, of course, PC gaming will still kind of, have the top lead, but whatever. That's fine. That's PC. We're talking about consoles here. So hopefully this, hopefully we see some more awesome systems in the future.
Absolutely.
Which I have no doubt we'll see more awesome systems.
It's just, number one, play the next gen systems, take advantage of, the graphics and the audio and the video, the visuals, the immersive experience, appreciate the older gen systems, take a look and realize where gamers, had to start in order to get where we're at now. And just, if you're going to play a game, play a good game regardless. If it's got a good story, play it. If it's got a good fighting engine, play it. Just try to look for a good game in your opinion, as well as a good quality recent game. Just that's my message for this, and my final thoughts. Anything you have left to add there, Al?
My final thoughts would basically be, like you were saying before, just appreciate the older systems, the older gaming games and such. Just have a day where you can just sit back and get used to playing. Not get used to it, but just kind of be a kid again. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
just be a kid again and just play some Duck Hunt or Mario or something like that, or whatever, for that matter, or Duke Nukem. I don't know, whichever. If you're played PS1 as a kid.
I mean, I'm currently playing, the old school Nintendo's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1 on the Wii. My wife has a Wii, and she's not a heavy gamer, but, I got her into it, and she's, she plays Bejeweled and whatnot. But, alright, so this is our video on the evolution of gaming, and we'll get more content out to you in the near future. So, with that being said,
this has been the episode of Evolution of Gaming, and catch you guys on the flip side, right?
Catch you on the next adventure. Thanks for watching. The early days of the Atari to the current days of now the PS4s and Xbox Ones, and digressional moment. But Mr. Varney, do you? I'm gonna ask this on video because I want everybody else to get a big laugh out of this. But check out where your microphone is placed compared to where you're sitting.
Oh. Good point, TJ. Good point.
I definitely think that's one of those. Is that your microphone, or are you just happy to see us?
Well,
3/4 of the way across the goddamn map. 3/4 of the way across blast. He throws the grenade. I'm pretty much as far away as you can get, and it still gets me, and it still kills me. And I'm like, WTFF. What the flying is that?
Well, let me just give you the tour. There's this burger, medium fried.
Stop yelling!
Okay, sorry about that, guys. Anyway, let's start this challenge and get this bitch out of the way. Okay. Oh, it's gonna be bad. Everyone, I'm gonna start,